Tingles with flyby. Hello, my tinglelings. I had a request after my hairy leg video from one of my lovely tinglelings about how to not care what people think. So that's what this video is going to be. I'm going to try and give you my tips on how to not care what people think. So the first thing to understand about us as humans is that we are highly social creatures, and it's important for our survival to get along in society. And so our brains are hardwired to respond to negativity from the outside because we see it as a survival threat. So that's the first thing to understand, is that if you have feelings when people are negative to you, that's perfectly natural. That's normal. It can take time to learn methods to deal with that and push it into a positive direction. So first of all, I just want to get that abundantly clear and out in the open. Having feelings when other people project negativity to you, regardless of whether it's about something very personal to you, if it's about the way you look, what you've done, something like that, very normal to react very negatively. It's also very normal to react negatively even if it doesn't matter who you are, but you just happen to be the person that somebody's acting negatively to. Basically, they would react negatively to anyone. It's very normal for you to take that personally and think that it might be something to do with you. So that's first thing out of the way. Second thing to understand is that our minds are hardwired to really pay attention to negativity. So it takes a lot of positivity to overcome negativity. Basically, it's a survival mechanism, so it makes a lot of sense. If you touch a stove 100 times and it's not hot, but then you touch it one time and your hand is burned, you're going to remember you get burned. You can be careful when you touch the stove. So you can see in that really physiological way where you could end up with a burned hand if you didn't have that. If you kind of saw, oh well, only 1 in 100 times, then it still might be worth touching the stove. Well, you at least either want to figure out when that 100 times are, or be careful first, and then, take precautions. So that's natural, that's normal, that's part of our makeup, and so that's my first key point, is just, there's nothing wrong with you, it's very normal. I probably come off as very confident, very, sure of myself. I'm very happy with my decisions. I still get upset by people saying things about me. I mean, I'm a human. Anybody does. But I have developed different ways to funnel that into positive modes. And so that's kind of what this video is about. So my first step, because until you really get a really strong conception of yourself, which I'm going to assume you don't have, if you do, you maybe don't really need this video that much, probably. So if you don't have a strong conception of yourself, a lot of it can be that you don't value necessarily your own way of thinking, and so you're looking around outside to see, okay, what are other people thinking about me, to get your cues for what you should do, or how you are as a person, or that sort of thing. And the best way that I know to combat that is basically to kind of give it to it. So, what I mean by that is understand in yourself that you're going to look for external validation, that you need, that you care about what other people think about you. We all care about what other people think about us. But that you can actually choose who you care about, what they think of you. My best example of this is when I was teen, like 13, 14, and my best friend, Stephanie, the one I did my video on Best Friend Day. But, so, we're best friends, she thought I was awesome, I thought she's awesome, she's, just awesome. And so, and I thought, oh, she's an awesome person, and I felt lucky to have her as my best friend. Not like that I felt like I was below her, I just meant, I was like, oh man, I found, somebody awesome. And, she felt the same way about me, and so that just made me feel like a special person. And so I took that feeling and used it a lot, quite frankly. So, well, I used to be Mormon, so I used to go to these Mormon dances on a Saturday night, be like 8 p.m. Anyway, so the dances would usually start about 8 p.m. Most people would get there about 9. And I always hated the beginning because everyone's just standing around, kind of waiting for the dance to begin. And I'm an introvert, and so it always takes me a long time to kind of get my bearings, because in those, you couldn't go to the dances until you were 14? Oh, you went in young, yeah, so you went to the dance, started going to dances when you were 14. So when I was 14, already friends with Stephanie and all that, and so I start going to the dances, but I never make a bold move my first time somewhere, because I take a long time to process everything around me, to just figure out what the natural order is and how things are, and not until I have a firm grasp kind of on where everything is, that's when I might do something that deviates from the normal. And so, I don't know when it was. I don't know if it was like a year into going to the dance. They weren't every weekend. I don't know. Anyway, but it was early enough that I think I spent a couple years doing this pretty regularly, because people knew that that was who I was I used to be the first person. I would show up at 8 p.m. and there would be, about 10 people milling around, not dancing. And I would just get out there in the middle of the floor and dance my heart out. And actually, it used to be my favorite part of the dances, because I had the whole floor to myself, so I could move around and just make grand displays. Just had so much fun. Whereas when it got later, it was all crowded and people around, so you kind of feel confined to a little small space. So I do still have problems dancing where lots of people are around. Like crowded, I don't mind that people are watching me, I mind if it's crowded. Anyway, so, lots of people would start funneling in, everyone can see me dancing. But obviously, there's a part of me, I'm not socially unaware. I know that's not the normal thing to be doing, and that people might not like my dancing, don't know. But the thing that I used to do, whenever I got kind of those thoughts coming into my mind, I would close my eyes, and I would imagine that Stephanie was with me. Because if Stephanie was with me, she would have been dancing right along with me. And there were lots of times she wasn't able to come. She's not Mormon. Her mom had thing about her going with Mormons, which I actually understand more now that I'm not Mormon. But anyway. And so by choosing who you, instead of thinking about, oh, all these people in the room, I wonder what that person and that person and that person's thinking about, you in your mind, it doesn't matter if they're here. It doesn't matter if they're still alive. It doesn't matter if you know them in person. Think about a person and, like, let them think, what would this person think of me? So, I don't know who else you have in your life, but I want you to know you can always think, what would Flyby, or what would Jenny, Flyby's my chosen name, Jenny's my name, I guess, so you can think of me as Flyby or Jenny, whatever you want to think of me as. What would Flyby think of me? And I can tell you I am very generous and non-judgmental, and I care a lot about people and who they are and what they're doing. And so I probably will have a pretty good opinion of you, so just know. Just instead of, if you don't have someone else to think about what would I think of you? And I think you're great, so there you go. So that's the first thing. Choose who you care who thinks about you. So I could be sitting, standing in a room and thinking, oh, all these people think I'm weird. But it's kind of easier if you put yourself in this bubble and you're like, yeah, but I'm a part of this group. I'm part of me and Stephanie. Like, me and Stephanie, yeah, we're the ones. This is what I care about, Y'all out there, do what you want. I'm part of this group. And it really does make you feel a part of something bigger than yourself as well when you think about someone else. Obviously, now that I'm married to my love, that's probably my primary person. If I was thinking about someone else, I have a bit more of a stronger self-concept now than I did as a teen. And so I don't really need to get external validation mentally as much anymore. But, if I do, then my love is kind of my first go-to. But, and, it's different on the situation. If me and my love are fighting or something, well, then I just have my own strong self-concept, so that's kind of what I go with. So, that's kind of going to be the second part. Our second part is, well, how do you develop a stronger concept of yourself and learn to appreciate yourself for who you are? And I'm going to tell you, it's easier than you think. I'm going to tell you things you'll probably think, that sounds so easy, and like that couldn't work, and oh, that's a bit like affirmations sound weird. I understand that. They sound new agey. But affirmations are very powerful. Affirmations work, and they can change your brain chemistry because they change your neural circuits. So, if you've watched my video on my previous relationship, I did not have a strong self-concept then, and I've always been stubborn about certain things, but and about certain things that I care about, but I think I never specifically made it that I care about myself, because, well, I grew up in a Mormon household, Mormon environment. My dad's not Mormon, but so I grew up with a lot of that, selflessness and that sort of thing. And so, that was kind of the be-all, end-all of everything. So, not like, okay, I need to care about myself type thing. And so, yeah, that on drugs was basically my first relationship, and crashed and burned with me, you know. Anyway, I've gone through that before. But walking away from that relationship, I had been emotionally abused, I had been controlled, and I had ceded control to myself over to this other person who didn't deserve it, frankly, and, well, you shouldn't cede control over to somebody who doesn't deserve it. I will say that. Care about what they think, but only when it's good. If you're worrying about, see, you can swap people as well. So if you're thinking, oh, what will this person think about me? Always stick with what you think, first of all. No use running around thinking all the time about what everyone else thinks might be the best idea. It's find the person who will agree with you on this, and then go with that. So, you know, I'm not talking about when you're, trying to choose your thoughts on an issue. I just mean about your own self-worth and about taking an action, because unless you're going out to kill somebody or do something bad like that, it's good. Get out there. Do it. Who cares? Doesn't matter. Just be bold. Anyway. So, I was in a place, ceded a lot of control of myself over to someone else. And it was my ex, and so afterwards, crash and burn, and I was like, well, that didn't work, that was pretty dumb. And I read something about affirmations, kind of like, oh, I don't know, I'll try it. And so I put up a list of, I think, about 9 words. I wrote them with a dry erase marker on my bathroom mirror. I did it there so that every time I went into the bathroom I would see them. As I was washing my hands, brushing my teeth, doing whatever, then I would see those and, could think these positive things about myself. And the amazing thing is that if you think it, you'll start to believe it. Like you're thinking, like what you actually think and say has more power over your beliefs than you would really think it does. It actually opens your neural circuits and allows that belief to come through. So I don't care if you are like the greediest person ever and you never help anybody. If you tell yourself every day, I am generous, I am generous, I am generous, you'll start to see yourself as a generous person, and then you will start to act like a generous person. I've seen this in my own life with lots of different affirmations. With being beautiful, I've never thought of myself as beautiful until my mid-20s, and now I embrace my beauty for what it is. I do think I'm a beautiful person. Negotiating, I said an affirmation about that one, changed the way I thought about that. I found then opportunities to even practice negotiating because I was thinking of myself as a good negotiator. There we go. I think you might have heard that motorbike. So, that's my second thing. The way to build a strong concept of self is choose who you want to be and say it every day. And that's it. It's really that simple. It doesn't take more than that. Everything else will follow naturally if you do that. I do believe that because I've seen it so much in my own life. That is what changes your thinking, is just saying it. You can even just write it on there, kind of say it to yourself. If you don't like saying the words out loud, if you don't like saying, I am creative, I am beautiful, I am wonderful, I am talented, I don't know, whatever you want to say, then just put it on your mirror and just read it, or put it on a little list and look at that list every day. Even if you don't feel comfortable saying it out loud, just looking at that will help you. And that's a good way to build a strong self-conception. So, there we go. It's a little intro video in how not to care what people think. My 2 suggestions. Number 1, you're going to care a little bit what people think, so choose the person that you want to care what they think of you. So, you can always choose me if you don't have anybody else who you think is good enough for that. I like you. I think you're great. So, I think you're wonderful. So think about what I think of you. Number 2, start to put positive habits in your brain in thinking about yourself positively. So, write it on paper, write it on your mirror, write at least 9 words. That's my recommendation. 9 words. Whether things that you kind of think you are. You know, some people always tell you you're a particular thing. If it's something you have pride in, put that on your list. Let that be, one of your bedrocks. And then you can put a couple on the end, things that you don't feel like you are at all, but put them on the list anyway. If you want to be that, put it on the list. And then read the list every day. That's my advice. So, also, if you want a personalized affirmation video, well, meaning if you want personalized affirmations, it'll still go out on my channel to everyone, but if you have specific affirmations that you want, or I tell you that you are creative and funny and wonderful, put it down in the comments and I will make an affirmations video with everybody's requests. So, get commenting, because I'm looking forward to a nice affirmations video. I'll probably give it a while, most people don't comment after a week, but anyway, we'll give it some time. So, if it's been a while, even if you watch this a year after it came out, please still comment down below. I will still be checking my comments in a year, and I will still consider making an affirmations video with your affirmation requests, but I won't know what it is unless you put it in the comments. So, thank you for watching, and let me know if you do have any more requests for this type of lifestyle advice videos, and I can see what I can do for you. And I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye, my tinglelings. Thanks for watching this